Hey Bunnies, back at it again with our MBTI bullies, and today we're going to talk about INTP bullies. Now, on a personal level, I haven't experienced bullying too much by INTPs, but I think it's because I have a really good shield and armor for online bullying, which I will share with you later in the video. All right, so let's talk about INTPs. So we talked about ENTPs and we talked about how they kind of add just this insatiable need for debating mixed with, assertiveness and aggression. Now, when it comes to INTPs, I see when we talk about the spectrum of violence that they can be anywhere from passive aggressive to assertive. I don't see INTPs being aggressive. I actually see them being overwhelmingly polite. The problem is with people that are overwhelmingly polite. Is that they tend to be a little manipulative, and I just know that they can be assholes, you know what I mean? So I'll give you a little example. There is an INTP I know, and this person is very well liked. Very well liked. But this person just kind of finds ways to cut down your accomplishments in a way that's like very slick, where you kind of don't even know that it's happening. Like I remember I was going on a, it's pretty much rare that I talk about things that I'm really proud of that I've done. But when I do appreciate my friends to listen because I would listen to them. But this particular person, I noticed that she'll do something very specific and it's smart. Because INTPs are very smart. So let's say I'm talking about something I'm excited about. She'll cut me off, but not cut me off to talk about a different dumb subject. She'll cut me off to talk about something relevant in the moment. So, for example, if she's just tired of hearing me talk about whatever it is I could be happy about. Maybe it was my grades in one particular semester or whatever. She'll be like, "Oh, do you think so and so will be here because I have to do this? And this person said that they were going to give you such and such and such." So now she just made 3 points of connection that are very relevant to the moment, which effectively shuts me up. But I was on a roll. I was excited about something. Um, and it's a slight bullying tactic that I've noticed with this particular person to always kind of shut me down. Is it enough for me to like fight this person or argue with them? No. But it's enough for me to notice. Um I think a lot of times what we'll deal with when it comes to INTP bullies is that introverted thinking coupled with the extroverted intuition. And when it comes online, I think we all are well versed in INTP bullies online, and mostly just the troll, just the trolling that they're infamous for. Um, as well as like if you go on MBTI forums or something, you can always point the INTP because it seems as if they go to like feelers, particularly introverted feelers like INFJs or INFPs, and will kind of go out of their way to like fuck up their argument. Not even their argument. It's just like if there's an INFP or an INFJ lamenting about something, the INTP will come out of nowhere. Either an INTP or an ISTP will come out of nowhere, troll the shit out of the INFP or the INFJ, and INFJs will take that. Like they are so easily triggered, and I'm honestly, INFJs, y'all really need to rein it in because you can't be so easily triggered. You have to take a step back, and you have to take a step back from the situation and say, you know what, this is online. This is just, this is not a big deal. This is not my life. Because, every time I get cut off or interrupted by a phone call or person or whatever, I feel like like tearing up. Like I don't tear up, but like I feel like it. I think it's just PMS. Anyway, so my personal tactic in dealing with online bullies, period, or just cyberbullying, whatever you want to call it, um, I only respond when someone says something crazy to me once or twice. First of all, I'm only gonna respond once if what you say is like insanely hilarious, and I'm just gonna like send you an emoji or something like that, because like even if it's something that's at my expense, like I appreciate you saying something hilarious even if you intended it to be mean or rude or whatever. If you want to engage with me, I will only send you two responses. Probably the first one, and then if you need a little clarity, the second one, and then after that, honestly, you're gonna have to pay to talk to me. Like I'm not gonna sit here and argue with anybody online all day. I have enough problems in my life. All right, and I'm a paid consultant, so I get paid for my time, and that applies across the board. But that first one or two responses, that's all you. You got it. Another way I see that INTPs are can be at least seen as bullies is that when it comes to the politically, um, a lot of times I find them to be centrist. I don't see them. They're definitely probably against the whole social justice warrior stuff. Um, I mean, it's not even that I see them as being more alt-right. Like, that's not necessarily what I see them as. But, because everything's up for debate, everything's up for interpretation, and they, have their, you know, when they go through the process of deeming something right or wrong, it's going to go through a much different sort of checking process than it would for other types, particularly types that utilize introverted feeling. And because introverted feeling is their demon function, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe introverted, yeah, because if it's at the bottom, yeah, I think introverted feeling is an INTP's demon function, and they definitely act like it. For example, INTPs hate introvertdear.com, which is like so funny to me because I actually love introvertdear.com. I understand that it's for a very specific, group, but I find there's so much there that's helpful and useful. But I've seen so many INTPs online speak out about introvert dear, speak out about it so much that they actually saying, you know what, I don't want to give introvert dear any more like press basically by saying anything about introvert dear, and I find that hilarious. Um, I don't think that INTPs like the idea of people self-victimizing. So I think some of that comes from that. Also, the attack on the INFJs and other types of feelers, intuitive feelers, perhaps sensory feelers, I'm not 100% sure, probably comes from this kind of like a disconnect. But even with that said, when they tap into their extroverted feeling, they can be ESFJs when it comes to, making people feel welcome at home. They can be like just like great when it comes to like cooking and baking and, making everyone feel like, you know, you've arrived, and taking care of your needs. Like they can definitely tap into that, but they can also tap into this kind of dark space of a lack of self reflection on an emotional level. I see them do a lot of self kind of calibrating when it comes to their thoughts and patterns and behaviors, which is all very useful. But when it comes to an emotional level, I find that there's a huge disconnect, and there's unwillingness to do the internal work. Um, to have a high level of emotional intelligence. I have seen that with them, but it's kind of a trade off because often, they're among the most intelligent types in the world. I know people get a little triggered by that, but it's just when you look at the most intelligent people in the world, a good handful of them are probably INTPs. Like we know this, and we love them for it, and we love, there's that meme I've seen, and it's like INTJs are the coolest humans and INTPs are the warmest machines. And if that doesn't sum up INTPs, the warmest machines, then I don't know what. So, have you had any interactions with INTPs as bullies? What is really going on behind the veil, behind the curtain with them? I'd love some insight. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. All right, bye.